I had some time to catch up on a show this week, and I wanted to talk about it because it's a show that I look at the ratings and it gets poor ratings. But since it's on the CW, it gets renewed. The CW is a smart network. It's not all about ratings. The CW seems to get that. Now, CW has The Flash. If you haven't watched The Flash, it's a show that exposes that The Flash is really the bad guy, and if he'd stop screwing with time, things get better. In the current season, don't worry, when Barry stops screwing with time, his daughter starts. Because time is malleable. Yeah, the timeline's malleable. Can't wait to see how that ends. But Arrow was a show I watched first couple seasons of. I do need to get caught up on Arrow as well. There were parts of Arrow I really enjoyed. There were also parts of Arrow that put me off. It was a show that kind of did both. Have not watched Black Lightning. Supergirl I enjoy. I actually would like to watch that with Yvonne at some point and get all caught up on that as well. But the curious one to me was Legends of Tomorrow, which when it came out, they had the actor that played Rory on Doctor Who show up as this time agent wearing a trench coat with a British accent, basically saying, "Come with me. We got to run and we got to fix things that are wrong with time." And I went, "Oh, okay." Now that first season I found kind of poor. I couldn't get into it. What they've done this year is really interesting. And according to the ratings, a lot of people aren't watching it. Now, ratings aren't everything. You've got your DVR, PVR people. You've got your other metrics as well, other than just the overnights, right? But the numbers have trended down. This season, what they've done is they've made it so that they're trying to stop magical creatures from hiding out and causing havoc in time. They've fought a unicorn, the fairy godmother. Honestly, the fairy godmother episode was absolutely brilliant. And this season, because of the magical creatures and because they had a fairy godmother and there's a shapeshifter in the one after that, because of the way this season is, because even though Yvonne hasn't watched the show, I said, just dive in here. And her answer was, well, I haven't watched the rest. And I said, it doesn't matter, because this is kind of a reboot in the middle of it. Season 3, the whole Malice thing, the whole dragging him to hell thing, yeah. The good thing that happened was bringing in John Constantine. Now, Constantine is a regular this year on Legends of Tomorrow, and I don't know that they promote that enough or what. I mean, Constantine had his own series on NBC, but the main networks, like the major networks, don't know how to do the comic book thing, and they don't understand that it's not just ratings. It's never been just ratings. Almost any science fiction show that's been on a major network has bombed in the ratings. And even the classic Star Trek didn't last a whole lot of years, bombed in the ratings. And had very, very limited budget as well. So, really, in all honesty, I love what CW is doing, and I wish Sci-Fi would pick up on this as well. I've railed against the way Sci-Fi just willy-nilly cancels series. They don't seem to care that there's an audience for that series that might be small, but by making sure they don't have a resolution for that series, because almost all science fiction series will end on a cliffhanger at the end of the year, because they don't say, okay, we're going to give you guys a shortened run next year to wrap up the series. Just that. Just 6 episodes, right? You could have ended Dark Matter with 6 more episodes. That's all it would have taken, instead of some stupid cliffhanger. But no. Anyways, look at Orphan Black. Orphan Black went 5 seasons. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's how it works. Killjoy's 5 seasons. That's how it works. Now on the CW, Supernatural's shown you can go on forever. Sam and Dean are still fighting whatever. The interesting thing to me is that on this year's Legends of Tomorrow, you have Nora Dirk, who is the daughter of evil or whatever. You know, the big bad from last year. She's his daughter. Well, one of the big bads, anyways. So she's helped out by Ray, who's played by Brandon Routh, who was Superman in Superman Returns. You know that movie nobody saw? He's actually a really good actor, and I really find him entertaining on this show. Did not like Superman Returns at all. So whoever directed that didn't know how to get the Clark Kent out of this guy, because he can be Clark Kent. He's really funny. But the funny thing is that watching this season and watching him and Nora, and every time they're together, I'm like, there's something odd about this pairing. And then I found out they're married in real life. So I looked her up and I was like, you know, there's something really familiar about her. So the one that plays Nora, she was on Supernatural last year. She was expecting Satan's baby, because that's what happens. You just expect Satan's baby on Supernatural, because of course you do. And before that, she was on the one episode of The Big Bang Theory where Leonard is missing Priya. Priya's gone back to India. He hasn't gone back to Penny yet. And he meets this girl at the comic book store, and they almost fool around, but he tells her he has a girlfriend, and she throws him out. And I remember watching that episode, and all I could think was, Leonard's really stupid. I've thought that a lot watching The Big Bang Theory. Nobody is able to work his way out of dates or relationships with really good-looking, really cool-looking women like Leonard Hofstadter. And that episode actually kind of made me angry a little bit, because I'm like, you know what? She's beautiful, she's funny, she's intelligent. This would be a better character to pair up with Leonard than anything you've put on this show. But yeah, make it a one-off and then have her out of the show. Sure, yeah, put him back with Penny, because that's a relationship that's not going to end with her dying of cirrhosis of the liver, because she's miserable with a guy who doesn't respect her, treats her like she's an idiot, demeans her constantly. So yeah, she lasts one episode, but now Nora Dirk has become more of a rounded character on Legends of Tomorrow, which I didn't expect. I didn't expect her to be on the show much at all this year, and she hasn't been up until the last few episodes, where they've actually had some kind of an arc. Now I'm worried, because it's sci-fi, right? And when science fiction, when the bad guy starts to have some kind of a reform and starts thinking of things differently, they're normally going to sacrifice their life and die. So there's a part of me going, well, Nora's going to probably sacrifice herself to save Ray, because with Constantine on the show, the other part that's changed, not only are they not looking for fugitives in history, not criminals, now they're looking for magical creatures like unicorns. I think that when whatever demon thing is following Constantine tracks him down, I think Nora Dark's going to play a major role in whatever overcoming the big bad's going to happen, and she'll sacrifice herself. I think that's where it's going to end up, and it's a shame. There are things I really like on Legends of Tomorrow. I like how the cast changes. Cast changes constantly. So people join the Wave Rider and they leave the Wave Rider. One of my complaints about the show before this season was there were too many people on the Wave Rider. They seem to have kind of fixed that. They took a couple of them off, put them in the bureau, and just sent them away. It looks like the really stuffed Wave Rider has been kind of cut down on. I think there's 6 members of the crew right now, and I know that still seems like a lot, but you've got Rory, who's he's a very wooden type character, so it's not a big deal if he's there because he doesn't take a lot of the cast time, and there's no big growth with him. He's just the grumpy guy. And you've got Sarah, who is a much better captain than Rip was, and I love Arthur Darvill. Okay, Rory from Doctor Who. I didn't like the Rory character on Doctor Who by the time they finally killed Rory and Amy off, but it wasn't the actor's fault, just like it wasn't Amy's fault either. You know, Karen Gillan, I love her. She's fantastic. But on Doctor Who, her time had come. It was time to make the show not about Amy and Rory. And then people would complain later, oh, show's all about Clara. It's all the Clara show. And I'm thinking, really? Did you watch the Amy Chronicles? Did you watch when they tried to make it Americanized in Season 6? Anyways. My one concern with Legends is that it's renewed for next year. But I do wonder if with the ratings doing what they've been doing this year, which is a drop, if we're going to see it canceled next year. And then what do? Does Sarah Lance go back onto Arrow? I don't think there's a place there for her. And she grew on me too. Like Katie Lotz in general really grew on me. At first, I'm like, oh, she's an aggravating character. Oh, this is aggravating. Oh yeah, she's the badass, big deal, blah, blah, blah. But she's really grown on me over the last, I'm going to say season and a half. She really has. And she's become a very well-rounded character, and she's a good captain. Her relationship with Ava Sharp is weird. There are times where you'll see a relationship on the air and you go, that seems kind of awkward. In this case, it's two women. And you can, I don't know, there's some scenes where they're together and I kind of buy that they're a couple, and there are other ones where I'm like, the acting this week isn't that great. They don't, yeah, it's strange. And yet, you know, for if that's the biggest flaw I can find in the show right now, that's pretty strong. I enjoy it very much. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, if you don't watch it, watch it. And I say that because there aren't a lot of really good creative shows that are really different on television. You get your police procedurals, you get your shows that are fashioned after 24, you get your hospital ones, you get your sitcoms that have a very simple formula. Legends of Tomorrow feels like it's thinking outside the box and it does something different. And the characters are all on a different journey. If it helps, all of the people on this show are very attractive, except I don't think Mick's attractive, the big dude. But, you know, it's a very attractive cast. Put it that way. And that's what works in Hollywood. Not all shows are ones that I would say that about. But yeah, Legends of Tomorrow, basically the weird part is this. The DC universe on TV is fantastic. It's fantastic. The DC universe in movies, I've heard Aquaman's good. We did not see it in theater. I do plan on buying it on Blu-ray when it comes out. Wonder Woman was great. But I've tried watching Justice League, and it's just a disaster for me. I can't sit through it. It's not a thing. I cannot get through Justice League. So, when I watch them on TV and they do all the crossovers, I have to say this. I have to say this, too. They do a crossover every year. This year it was Elseworlds, where you have Arrow and Flash and Supergirl, and Legends is usually in it. And the funny thing is, during one episode of Legends, it was basically the most recent episode, the Wave Rider, the voice of the computer says, one of the guys says, we've been getting calls from Barry Allen and I'm trying to think of Green Arrow's name, Oliver Queen, and Kara Zor-El, who's Supergirl. And one of the guys goes, yeah, nah, that's that annual crossover thing. Yeah, we're not doing that. Nah, just leave it. We're not doing that this time. I thought that was hilarious. I laughed pretty hard. Because, yeah, it's a crossover episode. And they're going, yeah, I don't think so. Nah, just let it ring, just leave it. Kind of a prick move when you think about it. Because if they're all trying to call you, that means the world's going to end. And you're going, huh. But in the context of the characters in that moment, totally suits them. It's totally fine. Because they're all kind of being pricks in that moment. It goes through alternate universes, and it gets really kind of funny and poignant at the same time. I was reading an article online today about how Constantine should get its own show on the CW. I agree. The only thing that could hurt it on the CW is what John Constantine does is very similar to what we see on Supernatural. Would CW be convinced to give him his own show? And would falling ratings this year tell them, we're going to pass on a Constantine series? Because this year's Legends of Tomorrow, really, it feels like Legends of Constantine. He is the central character. They changed the credits at the start of the show to reflect that it's a dark, kind of evil-looking logo now, and they really altered it for him. So, I do enjoy the Constantine character a lot. I've tried watching the original Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves in it. My biggest problem is I cannot take Keanu very seriously. I can't. When he does serious roles, I still see Bill and Ted's, and I can't see anything else. The only exception to that would be the first Matrix. Second Matrix, nah, he's back, you know, whoa. Like, he can't say, there's certain words he just can't say. John Wick, I saw parts of. I know people really enjoy it. Eventually, I'll probably give that a shot. But Constantine, no. This feels like Hellblazer. I'm pretty sure I had a Hellblazer comic years gone by. I know I read one. I don't remember if I stood in a comic book store and read one or not. But I know that Hellblazer... No, I did. I had one. I had one in my collection. I have a comic book collection somewhere. It's somewhere around here. Yeah, I have a comic book collection somewhere, and I have no idea where it is. This is why we're moving, so that Shannon can figure out what crap he's going to keep, what crap he's going to get rid of, in a house that's big enough to house the crap. So there you go. Meandering, yes, but high recommendation to watch Legends of Tomorrow if you haven't watched it. If you're in Canada and you have Crave TV, I'm pretty sure all of the seasons, all of the episodes are available on Crave TV. But you can just start watching Season 4 and pick up on it pretty quick. They're going back in time to fix screw-ups with the timeline. Doctor Who. That's kind of why I'm wearing my Doctor Who jersey, which I got recently, and I'm very excited about. It's very cool. I like this. So Entertainment Guy will have its own set in the new house. So people who are wondering, going, well, is he just going to keep just using the hockey set? No. Yvonne and I have picked out a spot in the new house where we will have the Entertainment Guy set. There will be an entire room that is the hockey set, and there will be a corner of a room that will be the Entertainment Guy set. For now, anyways, until I creep my way into the entire room. But it's a room that won't be shared between myself and everybody else. It's going to be a common room, but when I'm doing videos, that's when, you know, there'll be a sign up, you know, recording. Just recording. Leave me alone. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I can't recommend the show enough. It's very fun this year. I'm just concerned with the ratings being down a little bit, and yet, according to Renew Cancel, because I go to, it is through, I'll just give you the name of the site, TV by the Numbers. I regularly go to TV by the Numbers and see what shows are canceled or renewed. So if I've lost track of a show and it shows canceled, I go, well, there isn't really a rush on me getting caught up then, is there? But I like going on there and seeing their numbers and their predictions, because their predictions are usually pretty accurate about which shows are not going to make it. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.